Hi there. In this training, I'm going to show you how you can compute the skewness of a data. So in order to compute the skewness of data, we will need to compute the median value of data. The data here is the benefit column we have seen in the previous tutorials. So the median value is the centered value that separates the population of data into half. You can see here in the screen two cases. The first case where the total number of data is even and the median value is simply the average of the two centered values, and the second case where the total number of data is not even, and this is the simple case where the median is simply the centered value. Now let's do this using awk command. First I'm going to exclude the first line, which contains ds, and now I'm going to define my benefit vector, the same way I did in the previous training about the mean and the standard deviation. You can see here that I didn't use the k++ method I showed you previously. I used a built-in variable in awk called nr, which stands for number of reading. So what does nr means is simply the number of line. Now that we have filled our benefit vector, let's jump to the processing of this vector in order to compute our median. So now we are going to separate by two cases. Now let's see the first case where the total number of data is even, which means the number of reading divided by 2, the rest of that division is equal to 0. In this case, as you can see here in the screen, the median value is simply the average of the two centered value at nr divided by 2 and 1 plus nr divided by 2. We can do it in awk like this. Now we have written that the median is the average value of the two benefit-centered data. Now let's jump into the next case where the total number of data is not even. Let's introduce the command else, and for this command, the median is simply the centered values. The median is simply the centered value at nr plus 1 divided by 2, as you can see here on the screen. We can write something like this. And finally, I'm going to print the median value I computed. I will give the entry file, which is the S&P stock market data, and now if I press enter, I'm going to get the median value. Actually, I want to show it in a percentage manner, like I did for the mean and the standard deviation. Now you can see that I have 6.42% of the median value. At this benefit value, I exactly have 1/2 of the benefit in the right and 1/2 of the benefit at the left. Now let's compute the skewness. Of our benefit data. First of all, I'm going to define median variable as being the output of the previous command. In Linux, I can do it like this. So I just have to add the $sign and to add two brackets. And between the two brackets, I can add whatever command I want to extract its output. Now if I press enter and I check the variable median using the echo command, you can see that the median variable contains my median value. Now I can do the same to create mean variables and the standard deviation variable. For the mean value, it's going to be this command, and for the standard deviation variable, it's going to be the other command we have seen in the standard deviation tutorial, which is this one. Now if I check the mean variable and the standard deviation variable, you can see that I have the values I needed. So in order to compute the skewness, we will use this simple formula shown in the screen. So the skewness is simply the difference between mean and the median divided by the standard deviation. So the skew equal dollar between two brackets because we want the output of an operation. And let's call the command echo. Now we are going to give it the mean minus the median variables we have computed. And let's divide this difference by the standard deviation. So if I ended my command like this, Linux won't compute the numerical value. So in order to compute the numerical value, I only have to pipe this result to a bc command, bc-l command. So the bc command can give me the numerical value of simple operations like this. Now if I press enter and I check what is in the variable skew, you can see that the skewness of this benefits column is negative. Negative skewness is something very popular among stockholders and stock investors, and sometimes can be called the black swan event. Why? In fact, negative skewness means that the higher benefits are the most probable. And in the event where benefits surpasses the mean value, it will surpasses it by a lot, which can be represented in the curve here. So as you can see, benefits value greater than the mean are most likely to occur in the course of 6 years of stock market. Actually, this is not the event that many stocks investors wish to have because negative skewness is always associated with high risk. So whenever investors see this black swan event, well, it generally hides an unexpected event in the future. So this simple formula about the skewness can give a lot of information about how the stock market evolves. I hope you like this training. If you have any question, please don't hesitate to contact us in the coordinates given in the description of every video, and I hope I can see you soon.